Hi, let me just tell you, you have been reading your NCERT book, the wrong your entire life. So basically, when we say about reading any textbook, we have to be focusing on a lot of key details, which I'm going to be mentioning later in this video. I'm going to be talking to you about what is the golden rule and what is the main thing that you have to focus when you're reading a book. And I have one more important question. A lot of people ask, why NCERT? So I'm going to be answering for that question as well. So let's just get started. So first of all, when I see in this topic, why NCERT books? We see NCERT books are just the key foundation for anything. If you want to crack your 10th standard, 12th standard, your JEE or your NEET, anything, the key, just your basic fundamental unit of your studies is going to be your NCERT textbooks. If you actually study good from your NCERT textbooks, then it means you have a really higher chance of scoring a greater score than what you have expected. Because there are a lot of people who basically scored their 250 or 300 in the 9th standard and 450 to 470 in the 10th standard. What did they focus? What did they do? Let me just talk about that to you. So when we are trying to talk about this, why NCERT textbooks? As I told you, it's the fundamental quantity of studies. As we talk about the fundamental quantity of life, it's just the fundamental quantity of studies. Any books, any syllabus, even if you are in your metric boards, you will be requiring NCERT because any common examinations, maybe NEET and all of those entrance examinations, like BITSAT and everything, you will be requiring your NCERT books base as well. You'll be requiring a lot of other materials like exemplar, like your NCERT exemplar and question banks, a lot of materials like that as well. But when I'm talking about the basics, NCERT is a must, and understanding NCERT from each and every line is going to be something which is going to be a must if you have to study properly. So when we are talking about studying NCERT, let me just tell you what's the right way of studying it. Because as we know, it's a very important material to study. Let's see what is the right way to actually study NCERT. By studying NCERT, just by reading it, that's what 60% of students do. But the other 35% of students just highlight every single point using a highlighter or a marker, a blue pen or a black pen or with a pencil. They just highlight every single important points. When you're reading, if they find it important, they just underline. That's what 35% of the students do. Because there are also some people who highlight everything. But people, let me just tell you something. If you highlight everything, you highlight nothing. That's just one important golden rule as well. And then the third set of people, the 5% of people who read it, they highlight it, and they also frame questions by themselves when they study. That is very important. You have to be framing questions by yourself when you're studying. If you can ask yourself, if there's a paragraph about semiconductors and maybe conductors and insulators, you can ask yourself, differentiate between conductors and insulators. What is the characteristics of a semiconductor? How can a semiconductor differ from a conductor? And you can frame a lot of questions from the paragraph, which will be making your your learning progress way more faster. And people also say 10 times reading is equal to 1 time actively writing. You cannot be distracted when you are writing with your full focus. That is another main important key thing. Because why am I emphasizing this so much? Because reading is okay, but writing is a must. If you want to study very properly, you just have to be taking short notes in your rough notes or anything. Just keep a specific note for each subject, take notes and revise it every 3 days once. So it'll be staying in your permanent memory. Even today, as you grow up, you'll be remembering whatever you studied in your 6th or 7th grade because you put a lot of focus in it. I remember a few concepts which I studied in my 6th and 7th grade, and when you're in your 12th grade, you remember something in your 9th or 10th grade. It's going to be staying in your permanent memory and you wouldn't forget it at all. Even if you're 50 or 60 years old, you'll be telling your grandkids, I remember studying this. That's why you call it your permanent memory. Yes, that is. So that's exactly how properly you have to be studying. because through these methods it's going to be staying in your permanent memory and you will not be getting puzzled. And another thing, one final important thing, when you actually open your NCERT book, you should not just be giving detailed explanations for each and every topic. That is the second stage. But the first stage, you have to take a glance of everything. You have to take an overview of the entire chapter, so you'll be getting a basic idea. Trust me, this is very important. Yeah, totally important. Okay guys, let's see another video. That's exactly how you study NCERT. And another small tip. While you're studying NCERT, ask yourself 3 questions in the golden rule. What is it? Who is it? How is it? Just ask yourself. That's it. I'll meet you all tomorrow. Bye. See you later. It's me, Ashwin, signing off. Peace out.